field. And also the fact we've seen in the past 3 games, there is some bounce on the surface early on. So McGrath on his way, straight away around the wicket. And straight away into the ribcage of Sourav Ganguly. The line is good. He's got 3 slips in place. And we have all the makings here of a very good match to come. It's good morning to you, Chappell.
Morning, Ravi, and hello to all of our viewers. I must correct you on one thing. They've got almost all their players back from injury. They are missing Shane Warne, and I'm sure they will always miss Shane Warne, but probably the Australians would be delighted to see these conditions with a bit of bounce in the pitch, because it means that they can utilise their full pace attack, and they've done exactly that.
This is a top-class attack. It's going to be Shane Warne missing, but otherwise Gillespie, Brett Lee and Glenn McGrath playing in the team together. Also got all-rounders in the form of Shane Lee. There's Ian Harvey as well.
Yes, I think as soon as they saw a bit of bounce in the pitch, the Australians would have been relieved, and that's the reason for the 3 pace bowlers.
There's no gully, so the first runs on the board for India. Ganguly off the mark.
If they'd seen conditions like the subcontinent, then obviously they would be thinking we'll really miss Shane Warne. As it is, they will certainly miss him, but it gives them the opportunity to play Lee, McGrath and Gillespie, and that is a daunting pace attack. And I think as soon as they saw a bit of bounce here in the Nairobi Gymkhana pitch, they would have been thinking, we can go with Glenn McGrath and Brett Lee with the new ball, and they can go. That means they can go both barrels at India's 2 most important batsmen, Sachin Tendulkar, who's come on strike now, and Sourav Ganguly.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see the tactics the Indians adopt, whether they are going to be aggressive, positive. Straight away looking for the pull, Tendulkar.
Well, that's a good sign for India. It means that he's in a very aggressive frame of mind. This is always a great challenge. Glenn McGrath versus Sachin Tendulkar. They've had some terrific battles. Just getting the underneath edge on that one, but the important thing is the frame of mind. Now, Steve Waugh is just telling Brett Lee, stay on the rope there at fine leg in case there's a top edge. Obviously, that underneath edge has caused some sort of damage with Tendulkar.
But he's got his gloves off here. We'll have to take a look if the ball hit him in any way. He's shaking his right hand there. In fact, he's just pointing towards the elbow. And once again, very positive frame of mind. He was looking for the pull.
Well, that's the reason why. I thought he'd got an underneath edge, but it's hit him on the point of the right elbow. And he's got the guard on the left elbow. That's why he was immediately wringing his arm. And the Australians have, I don't know whether they've sort of decided to set a little bit of a trap. You've only got Steve Waugh at square leg, and then you've got Brett Lee at fine leg. No one at mid-on, and maybe that's put the thought in Tendulkar's mind. There's plenty of runs there on the onside, and perhaps that's the reason why Steve Waugh was doing it, to try and encourage Tendulkar to play the pull shot early. Certainly did that, and it's come off that right elbow.
It's interesting field for Tendulkar. 3 slips, there's no gully. So if Glenn McGrath does decide to pitch it up, then there are runs for the taking on the onside, especially middle and leg. You see they're missing the bat, kissing the elbow. And that might have hurt, because this ball is hard and new, just 2 balls bowled with it, in fact 4 balls. Everything seems to be okay now. These two teams teams met in the ICC knockout in Dhaka in the last tournament. India won that game. Since then, Australia gone on to win the World Cup and playing some excellent cricket. It's 1 for no loss. I think there's a problem here because we have it as 5 balls being bowled. And Glenn McGrath knows it. He tells the umpire that I have 1 delivery left.
That's an interesting insight into the mind of Glenn McGrath, because a lot of bowlers with Tendulkar at the other end would be quite happy to be shortchanged by the umpire. But Glenn McGrath saying, hang on, I've got 1 more. And that tells you that he's keen to get at the world's best batsman.
So probably he had already planned what deliveries he's going to bowl early on. The field was changing. Buckner checked with the scorers, and 1 more ball left, and McGrath on his way. Good delivery, came back off the scene. India 1 for no loss. So the Indian team, the same that played in the first match against Kenya. Dravid, Kambli, Yuvraj Singh, Robin Singh. That's the batting lineup. Then there's Vijay Dhaya, and the 3 fast bowlers and the specialist spinner Kumble. It's a good start by Glenn McGrath. And sharing the new ball with him, Brett Lee. Arguably the fastest bowler in world cricket at the moment. He should enjoy these conditions, especially this track early on. It has a bit of bounce. And if you hit the deck, we've seen some seam movement as well. So Sourav Ganguly on strike. 2 slips in place.
It's interesting that Steve Waugh had 3 slips for Glenn McGrath, but only 2 for Brett Lee. I guess that's a matter of probably respect for the senior fast bowler, and also the accuracy of Glenn McGrath. I think part of the plan with McGrath and Tendulkar will be to leave that big gap on the onside, but then McGrath will hammer away at his normal line and length, which is just around off stump, going away.
And working up some pace here. Just got the feeling that must have bounced a little more than he would have liked.
Well, the Australians have certainly got Ganguly hopping. You'll see here both feet are off the ground. That's never a good sign, particularly when it's an opening batsman. If it's a number 11 or so, number 10 or 11, not quite so bad. But it means that, probably means that he's expecting the ball to come a bit quicker than what it actually is.
The line was good there too. Short delivery. Straight away some aggression shown here by Brett Lee. No ball signal, obviously going over the shoulder of the batsman. Steve Buckner and David Shepherd, the 2 umpires.
Well, this is definitely a bouncer with a message. The Australians saying they're quite happy to concede the odd run with the bouncer going above shoulder height. They want to send a message to Ganguly, and just to make sure, Brett Lee had the long follow through on right down near the batsman.
One thing for sure, if the ball is pitched up, Ganguly is going to have a go. Very important that the Indians come out with a very positive frame of mind, because they're up against a top-class team. There's no point playing the waiting game against them.
Yes, that's the thing in a knockout competition. You want to get in there and do some damage early on. And I was saying earlier, you look for the teams that have got game breakers at the top of their list. Now, I'm talking both batting list and bowling list. So Australia are well endowed there. They've got Glenn McGrath and Brett Lee, who I would put both of them in the category of game breakers. And then you've got Adam Gilchrist at the top of the batting order. So Australia well endowed as far as game breakers are concerned at the top of their orders.
That went through very quickly. No signal from the umpire. That ball was travelling on the way to Gilchrist. Watch the carrier.
Yes, good bounce. And that's sensible umpiring. Just because the batsman missed it doesn't mean that it wasn't hittable. And what it does, having game breakers at the top of your list, it means that if they really fire, you can win the game in that first 10-15 overs, or not. You don't actually win the game there, but you have it set up so that you can canter home to victory, and you don't get into a mad scramble at the end.
It's in the air, pass point. First boundary of the match. Six for no loss. So 2 overs have been bowled. India 6 for no loss. Tendulkar the man on strike now. Glenn McGrath on his way. That's in the air. He could be out caught here. In fact, it's gone all the way. A strange shot from Tendulkar. And I would imagine he would consider himself lucky to get away with this. Pace of the bowler taking the ball over.
It was a wild shot from Tendulkar, and the interesting thing is Gillespie misjudged it totally. He thought that he had to come in to take the catch. He was running well inside the rope. Now you see him backing off. He realises it's carrying a long way, a lot further than he expected. And I think Glenn McGrath got the biggest shock of all when it went for 6.
So McGrath again. Tendulkar's intent pretty much clear. He's going to take the attack to the opposition. He has a magnificent record against the Australians. And he's the one wicket they want.
Ganguly just came down and had a few words to him. If Sachin's anything like I am, I'd be telling Saurav to buzz off. Your end's down there, this is my end, and don't get in my brain. He's got some thoughts in his mind, and that's the way he wants to operate, and you've got to let him play his game.
Yes, as far as India are concerned, he's the game breaker from India's point of view. He's obviously thought about this.
And I tell you what, that big gap at mid-on did suck him in there, because he was trying to whack that one through mid-on. So Steve Waugh's plan worked. The only problem was that the ball carried so far, and that's an indication of how much bounce there is in this pitch. Carried so far, it cleared the rope.
It's going to be interesting to see the length of Glenn McGrath now. By attempting that shot, what he's done, even though it didn't come off the way Tendulkar would have wanted, at least he sent the message across to the bowler. You pitch it up, I'm going to get after you. Now you have a good contest, because he's a top-class performer. 23.35, 183 wickets, great record in both forms of the game.
McGrath's doing now is just bowling them a little wider of off stump than perhaps he normally would, because he realises that Tendulkar is coming for him. And what he's saying to Tendulkar is, all right, you want to come for me, I'm going to make you just fetch it a little bit, particularly if he is looking to hit McGrath down that mid-on area. There is no mid-on fielder. And so McGrath is tempting him. That's a lovely line and just a hint of a way swing.
As he's playing on the patience of the batsman. And he goes for the pull, doesn't quite time it. 12 for no loss, India. And 3 men in the ring. Now that will be a wide.
Ganguly is just creeping across a little bit, perhaps a bit further than he realises to the offside. I think Brett Lee, every now and again, he'll be just trying to see if he can hit that leg stump. But that one went a bit too far. Good decision by umpire Shepherd. Yes, after that 4 was hit in the last over from Brett Lee by Ganguly, it went in the air just behind point, and Steve Waugh has put a gully fieldsman in position to try and take a catch. So both teams aware that in a knockout competition you can do a lot of damage in those early overs. Obviously from the batting point of view, if you can hit a few boundaries and get started, you put the opposition back on their heels. Steve Waugh realising that if he can get a wicket early, particularly, well, it doesn't really matter. You've got India's 2 best batsmen out there. He'll take either one. Obviously, if you ask him for a preference, it would be Tendulkar. But you've got to do some damage early in these knockout games.
Nicely behind it on that occasion. So no room offered to the left-hander in this over. He's got an excellent one-day record. 1300s, could average 183 in the World Cup against Sri Lanka, his best.
He's got the wonderful gift of timing, Sourav Ganguly. He's probably the best timer in world cricket at the moment, I would think. Such a sweet timer. And he complements it with good placement.
And just squaring up the left-hander.
Reminds me a bit, particularly with his offside play, he's a bit like Graham Pollock, the former South African left-hander. He round about the same height. He might have been a touch taller than Sourav Ganguly, but he was certainly bigger built. But he was also a lovely timer. The worst part about fielding for Graham Pollock was that he'd stroke the ball. It didn't look like he hit it that hard. And you were always chasing the damn thing, but you never caught up with it. You wasted all that energy trying to pull it back, and it always beat you over the line.
Ricky Ponting back in the Australian side. Pushed at that one. No real foot movement.
Captain's dream, this opening pair, because not only are they fast bowlers and good bowlers, but they're also very accurate bowlers. And they can bowl to their field. And that's ideal when you're up against 2 very good batsmen like this. You don't want bowling that's going to be both sides of the wicket. Steve Waugh has set his plan, and he's got the bowlers who can fulfill the plan.
And it also shows the confidence he has in the 2 bowlers. Just 2 men on the onside for someone like Brett Lee, and his stock delivery is the one that comes back into the left-hander. So he cannot afford to stray onto, say, middle and leg. Just 1 run in that over. 13 for no loss, India. So 13 for no loss. 4 overs have been bowled here. Glenn McGrath continuing.
There's absolutely no doubt that Tendulkar's game plan is to take every opportunity that he sees. If he thinks the ball's there to be belted, he's going to try and belt it. And he's also, I think, got it in mind that he's going to play some horizontal bat shots, and that would be because he's seen the pitch, he's seen that there's plenty of bounce there. It's an ideal pitch for horizontal bat shots, and Tendulkar made a century as about a 19-year-old in Perth. And Perth is a pitch where he's got a lot of bounce.
Oh, that's through him. The line's good from McGrath here. He's testing the patience of the master batsman.
Lovely line. That's one of Glenn McGrath's great strengths. Sachin Tendulkar showed in Perth that he could play the horizontal bat shots. He's shown us plenty of other times as well.
Down the tack and hammered down the ground. That's a tremendous blow for 6. Not an easy shot to play, but Tendulkar has executed that shot perfectly.
Well, that's why he's such a dangerous player. Not too many guys have got the courage of their convictions to charge Glenn McGrath and smack him down the ground. What he's trying to do is unsettle McGrath so that he varies his length a little bit.
McGrath again. Down the track again and smash back. 10 off 2 balls.
Well, this is very good tactics by Tendulkar as long as he can carry it off, because he's probably seen McGrath on a few occasions in the final overs where the batsmen have got after him, and it does cause a variation in his length. McGrath then does start to try and do some different things, and that's what Tendulkar's trying to do. He's trying to provoke McGrath and get him a little angry so that his length varies.
Now what can be expected? McGrath steaming in. And that a misfield here. Another couple of runs, so everything happening.
Well, David Hooks, the former Australian left-hand batsman, he always says that Steve Waugh misfields one every day. Well, he's had his misfield, and as far as Steve Waugh is concerned, it couldn't have come at a worse time, because Tendulkar's just whacked a 6 and a 4. The last thing he would have wanted was to give him a couple more runs.
What a start. 25 for no loss. And that's the score after 5 overs. 25 for no loss. Now it's Lee. We'll have to wait for the umpire signal here. Leg by signal, so Tendulkar on strike for the first time to Brett Lee.
Well, already Tendulkar's plan has worked a little, because after the 6 and the 4, the next ball from McGrath was on leg stump. That was the one that he played away and Steve Waugh misfielded. But McGrath hadn't bowled anything on leg stump until that point. So the plan has worked to a degree. He forced McGrath to bowl more at the stumps, and that's what he'll want. He'll want McGrath bowling more at the stumps rather than that line just outside off stump, testing his patience.
Two sixes already, one intentional, one not. That's good running.
Well, that'll have just an equally frustrating effect on the Australians if they're going to just work the ball around in between hitting some boundaries. And that'll mean that Steve Waugh then has to think about changing those field placings. Stick an extra man across on the the onside. That's what you want to be doing in a knockout game. If you can start dictating the terms and you start making the opposition captain change his field placings, that means you're setting the agenda. That's certainly the thing you want to do in a knockout contest.
That's got away fine and into the boundary. Leg by signal. So the runs coming thick and fast here for the Indians.
Well, that's been his line most of the time to the left-hander. That one just clipping the pad, going away to fine leg. Before, you've got to treat knockout contests a bit like a boxing match. There's not too much time for any sparring and having a look at each other's form. Get in there and try and deliver the knockout blow really early.
Yes, and reputation should go out of the window. Very important that you're inhibited. And really doing the right thing here. He's not trying anything flash. He knows that Tendulkar is in a very aggressive frame of mind.
Certainly, that's one of McGrath's great strengths, that he works on the batsman's patience. He bowls that line just outside off stump going away. He's probably just a little wider than to Tendulkar. He's probably just a little wider than he is to other players, because he knows that Sachin, being a stroke maker, is not that patient.
There's no doubt that McGrath would love to have a crack again at Tendulkar. The thing about great fast bowlers is that even though they may be hit or dominated for a while, they don't give up. They keep coming back at you. So the contest is always on. But the Indians have sent an early message to Steve Waugh here. The message is, we know you're world champions. We have nothing to lose. We're a young side. We're going to come out there and play positive cricket. .31 for no loss.
Welcome back to ESPN's live coverage of the ICC Trophy and to some of the most breathtaking cricket you will see. Sourav Ganguly is on 5 from 21 balls, but all the action focused at the other end. Sachin Tendulkar, 19 from 16 balls. The stadium and our hearts going to start buzzing again. Here is McGrath to Tendulkar. And slightly deep at backward point. It's time now to say welcome to another great opening batsman, but I suspect he might have treated this a bit differently to Geoffrey Boycott.
Morning, Hashim. Morning, everybody. Well, there's a match within itself there. Glenn McGrath and Sachin Tendulkar, that's a little match, never mind Australia versus India. He decided as Sachin that he's going to attack him. I like the Australian field placing. They've got two terrific fast bowlers. They put 3 slips in rather than the normal statutory 2. They're very aggressive and positive.
It's called no ball by umpire Steve Bucknor. Now, a couple of things, Geoffrey, about this morning's play. They've just taken it to a completely different level. One, as you said, the Australian fast bowlers, they came out firing. And Brett Lee, his third ball was a bouncer, knowing fully well it would be called a no ball. So they come out full of aggression. But Sachin Tendulkar has come out of the game plan as well. And he's come out convinced that he's going to attack and take the bowling to take the attack to the opposition. And you really cannot get better cricket than this. This is cricket of the very highest order.
Well, it's a competition within a competition. It's really about Sachin and McGrath. He's not easy to get after, isn't McGrath? Very difficult bowler. One slip's gone out to mid-on. That's first blow to Tendulkar. You see, the thing about McGrath, he doesn't pitch the ball up much. It's not so much that he doesn't bowl short either. Because he's a tall, lanky lad, high action, he hits the deck that just awkward short of a length. And when Tendulkar hit him, it was only because he made steps down the pitch to try and get to the pitch of the ball. You very rarely get anything right up there in the slot to drive off McGrath.
Actually, what else I found very unusual about the little play that we've had this morning. Ooh, that's beautifully bowled.
See, that's a good comeback by McGrath. He's beaten him a couple of times. It's all right being positive. You have to try to be positive, but it is risky. There's no doubt at all. Oh, close.
He's just coming back to that little moment. Soon after Tendulkar had hit McGrath for a 6 and a 4 at the end of that over, as you'd expect, McGrath had something to say. He normally has a comment or two all the time, but Tendulkar gave it right back. Now you don't see that too often with someone like Tendulkar. That's a long way shot. That's not in Nairobi.
That's a fantastic shot. That for me is the best of the lot. Not the chassé down the pitch. I think that was fantastic. That was just short of the length, and he got in position so quick that he hit it basically only just behind square. And normally somebody like McGrath, when you're looking to hook him like this, you get it behind square, but he's picked that up. Whoa.
Well, all of you watching this in India, I don't know what your hearts are doing, but mine's in overdrive, I can tell you that. This is, I don't know, I don't care if it's one-day cricket, not test cricket, this is cricket of the very, very highest order.
But whatever he's had for breakfast, he wants to have a few more like that.
I think he's had some food for the mind. Beautifully bowled. He's just given him the width. He's playing on Tendulkar's ego at the moment. I think he's playing on the fact that Tendulkar's going to attack him. And being an attacking bowler himself, McGrath is willing to grant him that little bit in an effort to get more.
He pitched it up deliberately wide, so go on, chase it. If you want it, you're going to have to go for it wide. Beautifully thought out. And after this shot, he just gave a little nod of the head, did Sachin, as if to say, yeah, that was a bit silly, that, a bit over-aggressive.
What a great contest this is. Now, all you people in India, call up your friends because you're seeing two great players of our times in a great contest. 38 for no loss. Sachin Tendulkar, 25 from 23 balls. This has been an unbelievable session so far. Oh, what a shot! Now then, this is not a one-man show. There's a band at the other end as well. Oh dear, what a shot that was. Oof.
No, that was the Prince of Calcutta at his best. Whoa, did he hit that on the rise? Look at this. This is short of a length on the rise, with that perfect and exquisite timing that he has. Yay.
Oh, I'll tell you, if you're not watching this cricket here on ESPN, then don't call yourself a cricket lover anymore, because cricket doesn't get better than this.
That's a wide, definitely. Just got them rattled a little bit. They rode a bit of luck of the two Indian opening batsmen. A little bit of playing and missing. But at the same time, they played some terrific shots. Wonderful shots. And that's what can happen if a bowler gets hit. Just he starts to think, oh crikey, where am I going to bowl it? He's going to hit this. But they are good comeback specialists. This is a great start to the match, but they are tough boys, these Aussies.
I'll tell you one other thing as well, Jeff. If Sourav Ganguly weathers this storm and goes on to play big innings, he's going to earn a phenomenal amount of respect within the team as well, because there's been a lot of talk about the fact that Ganguly wanted to bat at number 4 in this game and wanted Sri Lanka to open the batting to try and bolster the middle order. And it wouldn't have gone down very well with the team who would want their top 2 batsmen to then go up with the really quick bowlers in. And if Ganguly, and he's already made 9 so far, if he can go up there, weather the storm and play good innings, I think he'll earn a huge amount of respect within the side as well. He's got to be the best new ball attack in the world at the moment.
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that, Asher. I mean, I think some people, whether it's in the media, the public, or sometimes in your own dressing room, they're always looking for a minus in the captain. And maybe the captain was looking for a way to sort of lengthen the batting. Let's face facts. You've got top 3 that's as good as most players in the world, and the rest are very ordinary. And so he'd be worried that if Lee and McGrath were terrific fast bowlers there, if they were to knock over 2 of that top 3, then the Indian batting looks very wobbly. And that's all he'd be doing. And as you say, if he'd have succumbed to that thought by thinking, well, I'll bat at 4 or I'll put Sachin at 4, he just lengthened the batting, and it didn't work, there'd have always been people looking to criticise. But it's the easiest thing in the world to be captain of a great side. If you've got 6 quality batsmen, a couple of top-class all-rounders, well, it's a piece of cake. When you've got some quality players in the Indian side and a few that are very ordinary, you're all the time searching your brain how to make it better. How do I lengthen the batting? How do I get more out of the bowling? Not an easy job.
Oh, Bradley thought he was onto something there. The great thing about this morning session so far is every ball comes coated with expectation, with anticipation. There's just a feeling something is going to happen with every ball.
I'll ask you a question, Archie. You can think about it because it'll be the last ball of the over in a minute. Is there any time when India play and lose where they don't get criticism? Because it just seems to me that unless they win, there's always some people want to criticise the captain or the team. Sometimes you can play well and just be outplayed by a better side.
43 for no loss. So let's get back to the main act. We've seen Lee versus Ganguly, but this is the main course. Glenn McGrath to Sachin Tendulkar. Hit it into the ground, not quite in the middle of the bat. Wonder they should be looking for 3 here. Ganguly is sent back by Tendulkar now. Is that slightly average running, or is that a sign of confidence? I'll take McGrath. And Steve Buckner's telling Tendulkar, just be careful where you're running on.
Well, he got enough batter on that, not perfectly timed, but he went to deliberately hit it down so that if he mishit it a little bit, there was no chance of being caught out. What we've seen this morning, which is quite refreshing again, is a very good batting pitch. No moisture, there hasn't been any exceptional movement of the ball. What a terrific groundsman he is. I think he changed his mind. I think he was going for the pull again and then changed his mind at the last minute. He was already committed to be aggressive, and then he changed his mind, he hit it straight towards extra cover. And that's what happens when you get in a frame of mind to be aggressive and the runs come, you get a slice of luck. See? That's that pull shot, and he nearly tried that again. And just running up and down the pitch, I don't think there's anything much to worry about there.
But really, that should have been 3 though. When you're playing a bowler of the quality of McGrath, and Tendulkar in the kind of form he is in, he's bound to play and miss, and I think he's given himself that margin when he's come out to bat.
No, but he's just get over-aggressive now, isn't he? You see, the captain just walked down the pitch and had a little word with him. He just walked down as Ganguly and just said, come on, Sash, concentrate. As I say, you can get overconfident, over-aggressive, and you get yourself out. that kept low. That wasn't the batsman. If you watch the bounce of the ball, that didn't carry too high to the wicketkeeper.
I think Sachin's just giving himself a bit of breathing time. He's pulled the laces off. They weren't loose. He's pulled them off. He's just given himself, I think, a minute or two, or minute and a half, just to breathe again, get his thoughts back again. He's up against a person a lot of people, including Jeffrey Boycott, believes the best new ball bowler in the world today. And this is just a sensational contest. But to come back to your question, Jeffrey, I think crowds in India and the media in India are generally very tolerant. I think if the Indian cricket team is seen to be putting up a fight even if they're not winning, Indian audiences tend to be satisfied. They want to see a contest. Oh, he gave it. He telegraphed that, didn't he? He was coming down the wicket very early and did well. Actually, he knew McGrath was going to give him a glare. He turned away from him.
I like that. That's nice bit of cricket. He knows that he's bowled well as McGrath. He's not had much good fortune. A couple of smacks off him have gone to Tendulkar, but he's bowled pretty well, I'll tell you. And actually, if the two Indian batsmen were to have a little chat, they've actually got off to a flyer. They don't need to carry on now. They're virtually 5 and over. Now that's pretty good against these two, I'll tell you. McGrath was just play acting there. I think he deliberately stopped to see if Tendulkar was going to come down the pitch there.
I think it's also good, Jeffrey, that you've got someone like Steve Bucknell there. There was a little bit at the end of McGrath's second or third over, and he quickly called McGrath's side and said, come on, come on.
You know what I'd do now if it was Tendulkar? I'd let him get to delivery side, then I'd say, just a minute. That would really rattle him.
He's good. Just to outfield, just a touch slower today. It's had a bit of rain. 9 overs gone, 47 for no loss. India have got to 47 for no loss from 9 overs. It's a very good start.
They don't have to be over-aggressive now, just bat.
Man on the boundary, just short of them and 4. But those are the ones that tease and taunt you. Do you go for the catch? Jason Gillespie, the fielder there. Do you give it 100%? Do you go for the catch? Do you say, hang on, if I miss it, it's going to carry for 4? And he got caught in no man's land.
Well, that wasn't quite up to normal Australian feeling, I don't think. I wouldn't say it was bad, but the standards are quite high for Australia. And this is a sort of nothingness attempt. He's not really catching it, he's not really stopping it. He's just flapping like a girl, isn't he, with his hand? Going, well, it's a bit hard.
You can say
it
that.
Hurts that ball, doesn't it? Oh, dear. Look at him.
You can say that, Jeffrey, because you don't have to take the next ball. Flapping like a girl. Flapping like a girl. He's big man. He's 6 foot plenty, is Gillespie. What a session this has been. Slow ball, outside edge.
Whoa, that was beautifully bowled. It seemed to not only be a slower ball, but as if it drifted into him a little bit. And he never uses his feet at times with Ganguly. He stays in his crease and has that wonderful ability to time the ball. Watch the footwork, it just comes out slow and it just offers to come back, and it's a good job he got a little nick.
Oh, we've seen it all, haven't we? We've seen aggressive fast bowling, we've seen aggressive opening batting, we've seen great skill, subtlety. A wonderful 55 minutes or so. We've seen some great shots, we've seen some miss hits as well.
I think the problem here with Sourav Ganguly is not using his feet. I made the comment in the first India match that when he's playing well, he has better footwork. What's happening at the moment, he's timed one glorious shot through the covers, but basically he's standing in the crease, standing and deliver. He's not getting his right foot forward. He's never had a big stride, but he's usually had a stride that gets his weight forward into the shot. He's not doing that.
Sneak a leg by in there. A huge buzz the moment Brett Lee came on to bowl. And suddenly everything that we'd seen in this tournament before tended to get cast aside in terms of sheer speed. His first ball was 86, his second 89, and soon he's hitting 92. And I'd be very interested as well, Jeffrey, in seeing how the man you call the flapping girl comes in and bowls, because he can be very, very quick as well, can Jason Gillespie. I know you've got a frown on your face. I saw him bowl in Melbourne in August when he came in off a long layoff and is bowling off a slightly shorter run-up. You could see already that he was pretty brisk. Ian Harvey, the other bowling option, then Shane Lee. As Ian Chappell said during a very long preview show this morning, that Australia won't bother with the spinners on this track.
Well, I thought the Australian opening pair have bowled quite well. They've made the batsmen play and miss. Yes, there have been some glorious shots, but I don't think I'd be unhappy with the way McGrath and Lee have bowled. They beat the bat, beautiful slower ball by Lee. I heard Ian Chappell this morning say that this lad's a pretty quick bowler, but he's got a good cricket mind. If I was Steve Waugh, I don't think I'd be too unhappy. Yes, Australia haven't got a wicket. See, beaten again. Beautifully bowled, 52 for none.
A little slowly, then that big over from McGrath. After that, they've been doing pretty well around the 5 and over mark. 4 boundaries and 3 sixes so far in that total of 52. That is 16 and 18, 34 out of 52. Add 10 extras to that. How little running the batsmen have done.
Sorry, I don't think there's any need for that. I mean, Glenn McGrath's got a sort of rueful smile on his face that nothing's gone for him, but I think the danger is here that India, who've grabbed the initiative with some glorious shots and a bit of good fortune, are liable to throw it away now. That's the danger is they play indiscriminate shots. They're scoring 5 and over against the best 2 bowlers.
I think McGrath's just being spoken to by Steve Bucknor about running on. He's going round the wicket, of course, to the left-hander. So sometimes you drag yourself into the danger area. It must just try the Indians a little bit. They've got their runs with big hits. They haven't got 2s and 3s. Going at 5 and over. The number of chances they've taken, there have actually been 6, 6.5 and over. Versus India, best of 4 for 8. Oh, well done. Beautifully done by Brett Lee. Got the feel of the bounce, he judged the bounce well. It came to him on the first bounce of third man. He's just bowled it over and he came running in very quickly. That was wonderfully done, just a single.
Yes, just hit over the top to the shortest boundary, but it bounced nicely for the fielder. A lovely, comfortable bounce.
It's come out like 2 gun shooters, haven't they? Gunslingers. Now McGrath. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That should go all the way. Certainly for the Indian coach and Indian captain, you want to see more of that rather than the heights back over the bowler's head.
Yes, I think they've arrested the initiative from the Australians, but now they can settle down to be positive in the batting and play orthodox shots like this. I don't think they need to be slogging anymore. They've rode a little bit of luck and some good fortune with some exceptionally good shots. Lovely timing.
Now Glenn McGrath saying, is there any justice at all? I've gone past the bat any number of times. I've got figures of none for 35 so far. Third man is there. much better crowd today. I don't know how much they've paid to get in today, Jeffrey, but already they've got a fair amount of their money's worth. Jason Gillespie will be warming up now. This is the 11th over. McGrath's in his 6th already. Interesting to see what kind of speed he builds up. Every time we talk of Gillespie, Jeffrey Walker's got a bit of a frown on his face, so I'll be interested in seeing. Steve Waugh, that number 90.
I think he's a good bowler, Harsha. I think that when you said he's as quick as and as good as the other two, I don't quite agree. Got half volley and he squeezed it square in the wicket. Went like a rifle bullet. Not impressed with that. McGrath, 2 full, 62 for none.
The little sticking out of the tongue from Glenn McGrath. I don't always see figures like those. The last time I saw someone going after him like this was at the Sydney Cricket Ground when Abdul Razak went after him and got 50 from 6 overs. Today 40. Still Lee. Shot. Beautiful shot. This is turning out to be a garland of the most beautiful flowers this morning.
Now he's just played the second orthodox cricket shot, and I think this is what India needs. Just cool the blood a little bit. Play now, because he's quite a positive batsman anyway. He's Tendulkar's got a great array of shots. Doesn't need to do any wild swings now and try and get on top of the bowlers. India already on top.
What's next? I think he's spot on, Jeffrey. He's playing his last 2 boundaries, as you said, have been very good cricket shots. Now that's where he's got his runs from. 2 fours and a 6 down from the 3rd man. That's India, you know. 80% on the offside. There's a little story in there for you. Just giving themselves room and letting the bat do the rest.
Well, I think both of them prefer offside. We all know about Ganguly. He's nearly all offside. But it's been entertaining this morning.
Dramatic as Tendulkar's batting has been, those 2 boundaries we saw from Ganguly.
He tried to hit that too hard. See him cross there, didn't he? Oh, you silly idiot, he's saying to himself. And this is the danger that once you start being very positive, aggressive, and you know the bowlers are bouncing you and after you, as Ganguly's saying, just come on, settle down. You've got to keep a little bit of a cool head. Still be positive. You twerp, he's saying to himself.
Oh, Jeffrey, you can assign all the words in the book you want to him, but I'll tell you, he said something a lot more when McGrath came up to him a short while back. I haven't seen that from Sachin before, I must admit.
Could you read his lips, Harsha?
I think I did, and that's what surprised me. What? They are so good in the slips, these Australians. Damien Martin, the catcher. Tendulkar flirting outside the off stump. Just a ball after Ganguly went down to him. And Brett Lee has got the breakthrough. Oh, heaven knows what Australia would have been willing to give for that. 66 for 1 in the 12th over.
Yeah, you see this ball is a good length. He's trying to hit it on the up. And eventually they've got just reward of the Australians. They've finally got a nick. Nicely caught. Straightforward. And one of them's deserved a wicket because they both have bowled quite well. 66 for 1.